Run, Kamala! Oh!
Jump!
Run from the cops, Kamala!
They got her with the Hulk blast thing.
Okay, she's
nice.
The drone. Nice. Peter Parker style.
She and Peter are gonna get along so well. How did you know she was there?
What?
Whoa!
What?
I'd like you to be my mom.
Wait a minute.
Disgusting!
Bro,
that's disgusting!
Why were you hitting on her?
Oh my god, there has to be something going on there, because like, my god, what? What?
Oh no! Oh,
Gross.
Poor Kamala! You joked he was your cousin. He actually is. Oh, cousin Skeeter. Yeah. Welcome back to New Rockstars Ms Marvel. Kamala Khan just woke up to the disturbing truth that sometimes your great-grandmother from your visions is the same woman as your crush's mama. Is Kamala in love with her grand uncle? What is going on?
What is going on right now, man? I don't know.
This is Inside Marvel. It's New Rockstars' official after show for Ms. Marvel on Disney+. I'm Erik Voss. My Easter egg breakdown of this episode is coming later today. Right now, to discuss this episode with me is MT. MT, how are you feeling? Are you hanging in there after this insane
Bro, we
ending?
need to talk to the Illuminantes right now, because I need explanation, I need answers, and the Illuminantes know everything.
Yes, they know everything. I feel like they are smarter and know more about how things really work than the 838 Illuminati. I think that's for sure. Right? You can't kill these Illuminantes. You try to get Wanda Maximoff to take apart these Illuminantes, and she's not going to stand a chance.
Seriously, I want the post-credit scene of this series to be Mordo. Just be like, hello, Illuminantes. I have 5 available chairs.
And they're just like, 6, we don't need you. Get out of here, get out of here.
Get out of here, Mordo.
I want them to be in charge. I mean, I know they're conspiracy theorists, but so is the Illuminati. Like, they don't know. They don't know shit, right? Illuminati's full of liars. Why not these ladies? They got it under control. All right, let's quickly recap what happened this episode. So Kamala tests out her powers with Bruno, and they discovered some cryptic writing on the bangle. Might be Arabic, might be Urdu. I love how Kamala knows the language of Urdu spoken, but she's not as much of a student like the pious boys of the Muslim community in Jersey City. She can't read it. It's just like it's some cryptic writing that could be anything, really. I assume we'll find out soon. But we get this interesting line from Bruno's insane biometric tech. Let's just, overlook that for a second. The guy has like biometric scanners from his tablet of like being able to read her DNA. This guy doesn't need to go to Caltech. This guy needs to be like running, everything. He needs
to be a professor at Caltech. What the heck?
To be partnering with Shuri to build new vibranium tech, because this guy, this guy's now in the top 3 smartest engineers in the MCU, I think. But he's able to determine that this hard light is coming from within her. A bit of a cheesy line, I gotta say. It's coming from inside you. Even the editing of that scene is like, moving on. Because but yes, the bangle is unlocking a power that is in her DNA, which is a very, very, very important, right? It's not just coming from the bangle, it's coming from within her. But Kamala and Nakia attend some mosque services where Nakia decides to run for the board to improve the conditions for the women's facilities.
Woo! Of the democracy.
Go for it, Nakia. I have some questions about like, what is this subplot just like part of the YA genre, the coming of age? That's kind of what it feels like to me. I'm not going to read into this any more than that. It's wonderful to watch, to get to know this community and how they operate, and I'm all on board for it. But I'm not going to say like, is she actually a Skrull? Is she actually going to be part of the GRC at some point? No, not interested. I just like it for what it is, to be honest with you.
I love Nakia. She's a great character.
She's
and a great friend.
Great. Like, what a wonderful friend. And like, she is just as immature as Kamala is, but like also wise beyond her years. And you just want to see her succeed. And when we see them at Zoe's party, it's just, we get this great like Scott Pilgrim meets Fast Times at Ridgemont High moment with Kamala diving in the pool, getting out of the pool. Bruno, man, my eyes are on Bruno this whole scene, because I'm like, Bruno, I've been there. I've been there,
friend
my friend.
zone, bro.
Like, I never had abs my entire life. But at some point, some kids in high school, some of these guys just like hit their growth spurt at the right time and are just like, just have a swimmer's body or some kind of athlete's body. And they never did anything. Some of these kids, they just had abs. They were skinny enough and had abs. I never had abs. I had little sugar cookie plump rolls. That's all I've had my entire life. So like, I remember feeling that like, how did these kids just like naturally look like?
Seriously, like, why are you here? Why don't you just be a model somewhere? Get out of here.
Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of Jersey City. We wear layers here. It's freezing out. Why do you have to take your shirt off? Bruno. And of course, Bruno's a little stinker too. He's like, she crashed her car. I like this movie too. Like, get in the back seat, Bruno. This is about you right now. I get it. I feel you, but it's not about you.
You should have tried harder, Bruno.
You should have tried harder. But it's not. It's okay. Bruno, go over to Caltech, man. Go to Caltech. You know.
She left your gloves in the bathroom. She don't care about you that much, Bruno. Go to Caltech.
But that's right. That's right. The cops show up, bust the party, so they flee with Cameron. He's got his nice car. They talk about some Bollywood films. Bruno's pretending he likes the Bollywood films. He's just heard of them. He's probably read the IMDb titles and thinks he's an expert now. No, sorry, man. This is about you. My favorite moment this episode, Kamala going home, dancing with delight to the Ronettes, Be My Baby. Like, this is like the kind of shit we need to see more of in the MCU. Just like people geeking out. This is why I love Disney Plus series, because we get these story beats where these characters just get to dance around their house with goofy lights. Yes. And we get these needle drops. It's such a wonderful moment. And like, this is something I used to do as a kid. I would literally put on music and just dance around. I mean, for me, it was usually like show tunes in Disney soundtracks. Like I put on Phil Collins' Tarzan soundtrack, and I would
the best soundtrack of all time. Are you kidding me? Class. You got class. I know.
Please show me. And I would just dance around my bedroom. I would jump on my bed. My head would hit the fan, and then I'd lay on the ground and cry. That was high school for me. That was high school for me.
I love to sing along to a Randy Newman from the soundtrack to Toy Story. Strange things are happening to me. That was puberty. That was the soundtrack to puberty.
And I will go sailing
no more. The most depressing song of all time.
Can this just be the rest of the show? You and I just singing the goofy shit that we sang when we were kids. 45 minutes of this, please. Every week.
Inside Disney songs.
Fun fact about the Ronettes Be My Baby. Ronnie Spector abused horribly by Phil Spector, who's a psycho who's now in jail because he loves playing Russian roulette. It's amazing she was able to get out of that. That guy is crazy. Mr. Wall of Sound, Phil Spector, behind some of the best 60s songs that you've ever heard, including Be My Baby, credited on this episode of Ms. Marvel. He's a criminal and a psycho who killed a future wife. Killed, whatever. He went to jail for whatever. He's convicted now. But now you pulled the trigger. Bang, she died. He did it. This guy's nuts. Ronnie Spector, you can hear the pain in her voice when she sings her songs because that's what she went home to every night. Yikes. Jeez. But that's the truth. There's always a dark truth. Never Google your heroes. Well, I'll just say that.
Never do it or meet them.
Great artist, bad person. Anywho, this wonderful coming of age tale manifests in this hilarious way of the hard light glowing like a zit on Kamala's nose.
Yes.
And you get this great moment of just like her handing her a tampon in the bathroom. Just this great euphoria heart to heart. But unlike euphoria, it's just wholesome and not like the people trying to kill each other. Yes, between this show and Euphoria, like high school is now the present for me. It was buried in the past.
I never went to public high school, so like shows like Euphoria and this are like my only windows into public school. So I'm just like, wow, was it this extreme? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was extreme. It was extreme, and they used crazy lighting and transitions in the background. You just hear echoing through the halls.
I believe it.
And then everyone was like a smoke show. Everyone was hot.
I believe it. My only look into a public school was Zoe 101 for the longest time. I was like, oh my God, great. Those kids are living large.
That's wholesome. That is wholesome. That's what it should be. That and Degrassi Next Generation. Anyway. Okay, so Bruno gets accepted to Caltech. But Kamala just blows him off. Doesn't want to do another training session. She's good. I don't need to be a superhero. There's a cute boy who wants to drive me around, and he might be related to me.
It's like, not hot enough, Bruno. Sorry.
We don't talk about you. She and Cameron talk about some Bollywood stars. I heard Kingo get dropped there, famous Eternals Bollywood superstar. And then her brother Amir and his fiance spot them. They pretend Kamala does that Cameron is a cousin. Oh, how right you are. So then we get this amazing scene over dinner. Yusuf and Muniba talk about some family history. And this is they do this a lot in movies where the family has like the family stories that they tell, but it's totally forced exposition. They do this in Back to the Future where it's like, had it not been for him, we never would have fallen in love. Like these things, it's just like, oh, so this is actually important, but it sounds like, I don't know about you, MT. My family never really talked legend, but I understand that families have stories like this. I'm not criticizing this. I love this in movies because you got to force in some exposition somehow. And I just like seeing families kind of tell each other stories.
Oh yeah, I do like a good family story. Like my family wasn't like super like close growing up. So like whenever I see like little family stories where like families getting along, which is one of my favorite parts of the show, is just seeing Kamala's family just be a family unit. I'm like, wow, this is so wholesome. And like your dad's amazing. Your mom's like, you know, strict, but she cares about you. I'm just like, it's just, I don't know, this is nice. So I did like that moment, but it did feel like, all right, you got to remember this for later. Wink, wink. Sort of moment. So yeah, I can totally see what you're saying.
We learned about Muniba's mother and her grandmother a little bit during the partition between India and Pakistan. Absolutely look into that history because it's heartbreaking what happened. And I love that they straight up said like, Great Britain left us with a mess because that is what happened. You know, the Indian subcontinent was a British colony, and then there was a separation in 1947. Great Britain left, and then all of society and the military, the government, everything got divided on religious and ethnic lines. And it just displaced millions of people. And there's all this ethnic violence where Hindus and Muslims were just killing each other. And it's all just because Britain just left. I mean, it's just like a classic example of like why colonization is bad, because it gives people the opportunity to hate each other rather than just like evolving on their natural course of those societies, getting to know each other. It forces one side to have more power than they would have otherwise had. And then people are just cruel to each other.
And this is why Shuri called Ross a colonizer in Black Panther.
Yes.
All of that colonizing history.
It's a mess. And I'm glad that they brought it up. I really, really love that they are grounding Kamala Khan's family history in that history. And that's tied to exactly how powers ended up in her bloodline. They don't spell it out yet, though. All we know so far is that somehow her grandmother, Sana, aka her Nani, was able to make it back home to her father after a train station separation by following, quote, a trail of stars. What does that mean? Kamala's bangle at this point invokes a vision of a female ancestor. And then afterwards, Kamala calls Nani and confirms that the bangle belonged to Ayesha. That was the name of the great-grandmother, the start of the family curse, according to Muniba and the Illuminantes. So at this Eid festival, Kamala chats with the gossipy Illuminantes. This absolutely would be the group I would be hanging out with at this festival, too. I would just sit in the corner, just listen to their gossip, and just like...
Yeah, like, drop the tea, auntie, let's go.
Yeah, they're amazing. I love these women so much. They tell Kamala that Ayesha brought a curse to the family. Some people called her a snake, that she might have had a second family, that she might have killed a man. I personally think all these things are true. I think all these things are true.
And then I think that she left the planet and then became the Ayesha on the sovereign planet. The evil Ayesha.
The very same.
It's an origin story.
Origin story. While this is all happening, DODC agents Cleary and Deaver interrogate Zoe, reveal a bit of racial profiling in their investigation. Even if Cleary seems hesitant, he's still just like, we'll be respectful. But like, dude, he still could have said, like, hey, shut your racist mouth and get out of here.
He was like a classic racist partner move. It's like, he's just used to her being racist, like, all right, just don't hurt anybody at the mosque, please.
He seems exhausted. I think it was setting up, he's probably going to say something at some point this season, would be my expectation, but I guess we'll see. So Kamala saves some dopey kid from scaffolding, but another vision from her ancestor causes her hard light to flicker out. The kid falls, hurts his ankle. I already know it's my ankle that's broken. MT, if you've ever hurt your ankle, do you know at that point, seconds later, that you hurt your ankle? Oh my tibia. My clavicle. Oh, my third
That reminds me
rib.
of like back in the day at Nickelodeon shows, there would be like, my spleen. It's like, how do you know it's your spleen?
How do you know? How do you know? Oh, I can feel everything. I know everything. I can isolate each part of my body. Oh, she's a villain. She doesn't take good care of me. Turn against her, everyone. Deaver shows up with some familiar-looking drones. Looks like those might have been modded from some Stark drones confiscated during Spider-Man No Way Home. They also have some interesting handheld weapons that look like some Hulk propellers. We've seen those from some Stark tech before. They try to detain Kamala, but she's like, no, smashy smash. And then she hops off the car. She kind of hurts herself, but she's able to get past it. What a badass. Kamran shows up at just the right time. And then Kamala's vision woman sits in the back seat saying, I've been waiting a very long time to meet you. Kamran says, that's my mom. And Kamala looks freaked out, puking in her mouth a little bit. And we cut to black, leaving us with some questions. Does Kamala and Kamran, do they have a familial relationship? Who exactly is this woman? If she is an ancestor, why has she not aged? If Kamran is related to Kamala, and if he knows that, why was he hitting on her? Kamran, what are you doing?
Hey, man, Game of Thrones changed everyone.
Right, and normalize things that should not be normalized. No. We're going to clear it up for you. But first, head on over to newrockstarsmerch.com. Check out our latest Obsession shirt, Cosmic Daydream, inspired by the Ms Marvel series. Like all of our latest Obsession designs, the shirt is a limited edition. So once it is gone, it will be harder to get them Kamala Khan's driver's license. And when you purchase this shirt, you'll get the opportunity to unlock some custom shout outs that will appear right here on Inside Marvel. Let's see. We got Alyssa saying, could Ms Marvel's bangle have the same type of origin as the 10 rings? Love you guys. MT, you speculated that, yeah? Possible.
Yeah, I honestly feel like the 10 rings and the bangles could have come from the same comet or meteor rather that the vibranium came from in Wakanda. So maybe. I think that there's definitely a link there. But what do you think?
I think it's possible. I just think I feel like the writers' rooms and the producers are just a bit siloed on these different properties. And I think the origin of them, I would just be surprised if they linked it to Shang-Chi in particular. It seems like they're linking in other directions. But who knows? I think it's possible. I just think I always default to whatever the term is in the comics. So I would say the 10 rings are McLuhan tech, and I just think Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan is Kree tech. But I don't know. We'll see. Nicholas asks, if the Inhumans were introduced to the MCU, wouldn't they have to sign the Sokovia Accords? Yeah, I think the Sokovia Accords are still in effect. So legally, every enhanced individual, I think, is going to be required to. It's just I don't know. Did Sam Wilson and Bucky eventually sign the Sokovia Accords? I guess that was part of their terms of their legal agreement with the government. But we just don't know for sure if they signed the Sokovia Accords. We just know that those are still the law of the land.
Yeah, I think that. So I don't know if the humans would be under it. Like the humans of Attilan or Attilan, however you pronounce it, probably wouldn't be part of the Sokovia Accords because they're not a part of the United Nations. But the humans in America would definitely probably have to sign it because you can't be heroing against the law.
I mean, the Inhumans on the moon, they're not technically on Earth. Do the Sokovia Accords jurisdiction extend beyond our atmosphere? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so. I think it's only the United Nations countries, really, because you can't really tell a country that's not a part of the United Nations what to do.
You can if you colonize them, MT. That's
it's true. That's the trick. That's the colonization hack.
You could be really cruel and imperialist, and then you can just do whatever you want. We have these theories coming out of Falcon Winter Soldier that Cap was on the moon. And at the time, we're like, is he on the moon with the Inhumans? And is he doing that so he doesn't have to sign the Sokovia Accords? That old man doesn't want to sign anything.
People keep calling me, confusing me about trying to steal my bank information. I don't trust you.
Peggy. He wakes up in the middle of the night.
Is that you, Peggy?
Peggy. Oh, no. Kyle says, let's hope you guys get a full canon mention. Love watching you guys. Well, thank you, Kyle.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
It's coming. Someday. All right, check out all of our awesome merch options. Grab this latest Obsession shirt over at newrockstarsmerch.com. All right, MT, what's our first question from this episode?
Well, our first question, Eric, is who is the woman from Kamala's visions, and are Kamala and Cameron related?
So once we identify, this actress, by the way, is Nimra Busha. And once we identify who her character is and what she is, that's going to be the same answer to what Kamala is in the MCU and what her powers really are. So the credits name this character as Najma, Najma. And yes, the woman in that backseat has the same exact appearance. It's the same actress as the woman from Kamala's visions, the woman who reaches out to her from that portal of light. The light is purple colored, suggesting it's the same realm that Kamala initially dropped backward into in episode 1 when her bangle first activated. The implication is that this woman is one of Kamala's ancestors. That's at least the implication. I think it's okay to interpret it that way. So let's just first assume that Najma could actually be Ayesha. That's Kamala's long-lost great-grandmother, who we learned quite a bit about in this episode. Ayesha was the family matriarch who went missing during the partition of India and Pakistan in the late 40s. The Illuminati spread rumors that Ayesha was a snake, had a second family, that she killed a man. According to them, Ayesha was one who brought the curse upon the family, and that is why Muniba feels the shame, why she fled to the United States, wanted a new start, wants to keep Kamala grounded. And on the day that this family separated during the partition, Ayesha mysteriously disappeared, but it seems like she helped her toddler, Sana, aka Kamala's grandmother, her nanny, reunite with her father by using a trail of stars. Now, trail of stars could mean a lot of things. Presumably, it was something like the lily pads of hard light that Kamala might have definitely used to get around. That could have been something that Ayesha used. The trail of stars could have been a literal starship belonging to Ayesha's connections with the Inhumans or the Krees or the Skrulls. Hey, it could have been a series of star portals by America Chavez. My mind went to that initially, a trail of stars. Where did we just see that in the MCU? It's just, I don't know.
That'd be fun. I would love to see her appear in the show.
I'd be surprised. Xochitl Gomez is showing up at all these premieres. I would just
seriously
on the utopian parallel.
I love that she keeps showing up. It's amazing.
She does. She truly is in a multiverse. That woman.
Right.
Anyway,
she's traveling.
It just sounds like the superstition spread around Ayesha came from the fact that she was an outsider to that society, either an extraterrestrial living and hiding on Earth, or an Inhuman created by the Kree using the process of pterogenesis, and then that DNA passed down to Kamala. So if the woman in the backseat is actually Ayesha, and if that is Kamran's mom too, that would mean Kamran is Kamala's grand uncle, hopefully adopted in that scenario, because why would he actively flirt with her? That is creepy. He is totally laying his moves on her. It's not just like showing some platonic interest. He's flirting. He's putting his hand on hers. He's putting his number in her phone. He knows what he's doing. That's creepy. If she is Ayesha, why has she not aged? Well, might be because she's Inhuman. Inhumans age slowly, 2 to 3 times slower than a normal human. Kamala had a joke about looking younger than she actually is, like Scott Lang. That could be a tip that she has some Inhuman DNA. Eternals also don't age. There was that reference to Najma liking Kingo's movies. But also, after Carol Danvers got hit with cosmic radiation, received some Kree transfusions, her aging was slowed down, so it could just be connected with that. And then, of course, we have super soldiers in the MCU, Cap and Bucky. They age more slowly. There's also, we should point out, in the X-Men film continuity, certain mutants just randomly age more slowly, but really that was in the later Simon Kinberg era of the franchise, where the characters from X-Men First Class to Age of, or what's it called, Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse, and the Dark Phoenix. It's like, well, I understand why Mystique doesn't age, but why is Hank McCoy still pretty young? Like, they did not age Nicholas Hoult from the 60s to the 90s. He looks the same freaking age, and it doesn't make sense. Yes, he has like injections or whatever, but like all of these characters don't really age. James McAvoy, he just gets bald, but he still looks just as young as he does in the 60s. That's not a thing with mutants. They get older. It's just Wolverine doesn't age because he has regeneration powers. They just really stretched a lot of stuff, and I don't care how many people try to explain this to me on Twitter. It does not make sense. It's a plot hole. Shut up. I think the possibility of Kamran actually being related, at least in this episode, is meant to be a jokey fake out. I think it's meant to call back their charade at the restaurant earlier. I think it's meant to freak her out. This is something that happens with large extended families. I can tell you, growing up in the South, I've been to quite a few family reunions, and thank God I had an aunt or uncle say, "Hey, by the way, that's your cousin." And I'm like, oh, great. Glad I know that now. Oh boy. All right. Well, all right. Okay. Great. Moving on.
Thank you. Good information to have.
Yes. I think next episode we're going to learn that this guy is either adopted, or that maybe Najma could actually be a Skrull partner to Ayesha actually being passed away, and that, Skrulls just continue to bear this resemblance, and that she was a friend of them, and that's how Skrulls could be connected to this story. Maybe we'll just learn that Mum is just Kamran's affectionate term for this other woman in his community, someone who raised him, but it's not really a biological connection. This is just how the society of refugees is connected. A society of Inhumans or Krees or Skrulls maybe mutants, maybe something connected to the Eternals. But ultimately, this episode is confirmed that it confirms to us that Kamala's powers come from her DNA. They do not come from the Bangle. And that family bloodline has some kind of cosmic link, which is probably why Muniba used the word cosmic in episode 1. I think she knows. I think she knows that it's something. I think she has a secret that she's not telling her daughter. So I'm just going to quickly rank my what I think is the likelihood of what category of enhanced person Kamala and her bloodline are. I think least likely of the ones I mentioned is Eternals, just because Ayesha may have been aware of what the Eternals were, like she knew that something was going on with Kingo. I just doubt that Marvel would categorize Kamala that way. MCU Eternals are defined as synthetic alien custodians to doomed planets. There were one of 10 designs from the Celestials. I don't think Kamala and her family are one of them. A possible category, I just think unlikely, would be mutant, just because they use the term enhanced here, and in the MCU past, like Age of Ultron, enhanced was code for mutant. Powers innate to a character's DNA, inherited from the parents, also kind of code for mutant. I think Marvel Studios might use this opportunity to define mutants in the MCU. We are dying to hear that word. I just think Kamala's powers are described as cosmic, with language like Trail of Stars, and while some Marvel mutants come from space, like the Phoenix Force, to define Kamala as a mutant would confuse pretty much every Marvel fan, chief among them Iman Vellani. The way she's
yes.
Feige, I don't think she would let this one slide.
Like, Iman Vellani would not let her become a mutant. Like, she'd be like, I am Inhuman. Black Bolt is my father.
Yeah.
Like, do not do this to me, Kevin.
Yes, 100%. Possible category, we could be looking at a group of Skrulls, right? Because Secret Invasion is coming. I think some of the characters in the series are going to be revealed as Skrulls, or at least Skrull connected. You know, we know Monica and Rambeau and Carol Danvers, Kamala's future co-stars, are connected with the Skrulls or hanging out with the Skrulls. Nick Fury is with the Skrulls. Agent Cleary knows that. The issue with Skrulls is they do not innately have any kind of ability to project hard light unless they are a super Skrull in some way. And I don't think they're going to introduce Skrulls by starting with a super Skrull. You know, I think that would just be kind of like a step too far. We'll get there, though. To me, the likeliest category is that we're looking at Kree tech and Inhuman Terrigenesis. So I know there is a stigma among many Marvel followers in the past decade with the word Inhuman, obviously with the drama with Marvel TV and Jeff Loeb snatching the title away from Kevin Feige to replace his Phase 3 movie. Remember how he announced that he was going to do an Inhumans movie, but then Marvel TV snatched it away from him to make this failed ABC series. Also, a lot of Marvel Comics fans are kind of like still limping back from how the 2010s tried to make Inhumans popular instead of the term mutants so that they could do them as film and TV IP instead of X-Men. And like the word fetch, it didn't happen. But I think that putting Black Bolt in Multiverse of Madness was a huge sign that Kevin Feige is totally not afraid of restoring Inhumans to the MCU.
Major sign.
Everyone who knows anything about Kamala Khan from the comics, it was a huge popular comic series. It made the New York Times bestseller. It won all these awards. And I don't think this is like something from the distant past that they're like, oh, we'll just change what she is. I think they're going to try to stay faithful to those comics. And I think part of that is that she is an Inhuman created by Kree Terrigenesis. And I don't think it's controversial to call her that in the MCU. And I think most signs of this series so far are pointing in that direction. DNA, alien tech. That is, I mean, that's Kree tech right there, my friends. I think, and we've talked about this before, that Kamala is still in the cocoon. We are watching the process of Terrigenesis episode by episode, and she's shedding that cocoon, and she's going to have a new final form, as the directors have told us in our interview with them.
Like, this is why, like she said, what's it called? Iman Vellani said that in a quote, like, I don't care if I had sausage fingers for a power. Like, all that matters is the journey, because we're definitely on our way to a Terrigenesis moment where she gets those stretchy powers, I feel. But, like, I don't want to say definitely. We're likely going there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think ultimately it's going to be this, or equally likely, it's just going to be a new term. Like the MCU might avoid all of the baggage from all these different proper nouns and just create a new word for whatever Kamala and her ancestors are. I just think ultimately we'll either hear the word Inhuman or we'll hear some other new word that will just be like, okay, but it's basically Inhuman.
Yeah,
you know,
like either mutant, mutate, like I don't know, one of those terms.
Yeah, I don't think they'll say mutant. I'd be
they won't say mutant. Sorry,
if they said anything related to mutant, because of all these words, mutant probably has the most baggage, right? Like,
oh yeah, for sure, and like it's very specific to the X gene, the whole mutant thing. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be bummed if they did that. I'm not going to object,
Yeah.
right? Because
Wait, we would
ultimately-
understand, but like,
Yeah.
I do want to see them dive into the Terrigenesis route and like for Kevin Feige himself to use and to play with the Inhumans, because like before, like you said, those were Jeff Loeb's Inhumans. Those were the Marvel TV Inhumans, which is why like there was a different type of quality. No offense to Jeff Loeb, very great guy. But like, you know, Kevin Feige has a very specific vision. You can tell a Kevin Feige production versus anything else, like or a Hulu production or whatever. So like, yeah, this is Kevin Feige's chance of finally using the Inhumans the way that he wants to, I feel.
I think we're seeing a cosplay Captain Marvel fans version of Terrigenesis. I think what we're going to learn, and this is at least what I hope is the case, is that Terrigenesis looks different for every individual. It looks different from what is in their inner heart's desires. And that cocoon takes a different form. But ultimately, it is a shell that the character sheds off as they have a growing process over a 6-episode series or something like that, you know? Like, that's a more fun way to do it. In the same way that the X gene manifests in a different way for every person, and the power set is different for every person. I think Terrigenesis is just a manufactured version of that. It comes from Kree tech, to where they did genetic experiments on humans and other individuals to do this. I think that's ultimately what we're looking at. And I think the fact that, like, who is Najma ultimately, I think it is going to be her great-grandmother. At least I hope that's the case. And she's just an Inhuman who hasn't aged that much. I hope Kamran is adopted. I hope that's the case.
I really hope so.
That's my hope.
I honestly, I think that Cameron and his mom are using Kamala and like playing her for the bangle. I think that like Cameron doesn't care about Kamala at all. He's just like, I'm going to say whatever I need to say to get that bangle because grandma sent it to the wrong sister. And we need that bangle for stuff.
Whoa. Who do you think the right sister is?
Well, I think she wanted to give it to Kamala. I think like the reason she sent it was for Kamala to get it because her mother wanted nothing to do with the bangle. She was like, you know what? I know this was supposed to be mine, but like, I don't want it. So the grandma was like, all right, screw you. All right, child, you want it? It's for you. I don't know.
So you think that, all right, so the moral alignment, in your opinion, of Najma and Kamran is something like lawful evil or chaotic evil or something like
I
that?
think they're doing some sketchy shit because Cameron in the comics was like, she flirted with Kamala to specifically trick Kamala into doing something for his gain or for his gain in the end. So like, I think that this is what's going on here. Cameron, even though in the MCU he might be sort of good, but at the end of the day, he's listening to his mom's orders to manipulate Kamala for the bangle. So I don't know.
My thinking is that right now we're meant to distrust them, right? Because they've been lying and they've been using her. I think you're right. I think the reason for their clandestine activities is to bypass Muniba. And I don't think Muniba is like a villain in any way, but I think she is holding Kamala back out of fear, out of shame, out of guilt for the way she grew up, and just like a misinterpretation of who her grandmother was. In a fear that she's going to lose Kamala. So I think that's her worry. And that's going to, I always prefer antagonists that are something like that. You know, they're sympathetic and you completely get that. I think she's just an obstacle. Ultimately, I think the most villainous character of the series is going to be, and already is, Deaver, right? I think the DODC is going to be revealed as some kind of villain. I think that kind of government enforcement. Now, we have seen in trailers there are other characters who Kamala is fighting. I think we're going to learn about them soon. But I'm still, you know, I'm not going to, I guess I should speculate on who they are. I mean, I think the Kree, right? I think we're going to learn that, like, whoever created these Inhumans on Earth, the Kree sleeper cell, I think created these genetic experiments and kind of like super soldiers who were created by nefarious government entities. I think these Inhumans are like, we were caught in the middle of this shadow war between Kree and Skrulls. We didn't want to do that. So now we've had to go rogue and we just try to help people. But by helping people, it kind of made us outcasts in our community. But you now have this DNA, this bloodline that has a power that gets unlocked by cosmic tech that comes from that we've stolen from the Kree.
But like, no, what do you think about the possibility? Because like we learned at the end of Captain Marvel that Ronan was going to come back for the weapon, meaning Carol. So like, what if Ronan came back and was like, all right, Carol's not here. I don't know where Carol went. Let's just mess around with these humans to like make super people. And maybe, I mean, obviously like it would be like Ronan came in the 90s. So like he can't make the bangle because the bangle has been around for generations. But what if the Splinter Cell is Ronan's Splinter Cell? And like, they've just been doing weird shit like since the 90s. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, we've met a lot of the Skrull leadership, right? We need to know the Kree leadership. We know Yon Rog. We know the Supreme Intelligence. We know Ronan. Ronan was a disavowed militant from the Kree Society during Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, it could be him. Is he going to be leading? Is he going to be the tip of the spear in the Shadow War with the Skrull? I think it's more likely they're going to introduce another character, like someone else within the rankings who's like the commander, the 5-star general of the Kree military.
I would love to see Yon Rog if he was secretly behind this too.
Yeah,
because he's pissed.
Yeah, so I think we're going to meet the Kree sleeper cells at some point. But I don't know if it's going to be like one side versus the other side. I think there's just going to be, like in any Shadow War, a lot of covert actors who are taking matters in their own hands. It's going to be messy in Sloptown. And that's how it
Major messy.
Yeah. All right, let's thank some friends who helped us make this episode, starting with our friends at Helix. We want to thank Helix for sponsoring this episode of Inside Marvel. I sleep on a Helix mattress, and it's just what I need after a night of staying up to watch Ms Marvel. Helix Sleep is a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and your sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody's unique, and Helix knows that, so they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have soft, medium, and firm mattresses. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. Mattress is great for spinal alignment to prevent morning aches and pains. Even a Helix Plus mattress for plus-size sleepers. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. Helix has been recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving sleep. Just go to helixsleep.com/Inside Marvel, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Inside Marvel. We also want to thank Geology for sponsoring this episode. Heroes have superpowers, but that does not mean they don't need a skincare routine. Staying up late to fight crime could leave bags and circles under your eyes. But superheroes are not alone. 50% of guys suffer from under-eye issues like dark under-eye circles, puffiness, tired eyes, fine lines, and wrinkles. That's where Geology comes in. Geology is a 9-time award-winning men's skincare company recognized in Men's Health, Esquire, and Ask Men Grooming Awards. With over 5,000 5-star reviews, it's clear that people love this product. Their skincare is built around just a handful of powerful, proven ingredients that have been trusted by dermatologists for decades. Ingredients like retinol, niacinamide, and kojic acid. Geology is one of the only men's skincare companies to have retinol as an active ingredient in their products. You click the link provided, you take 30 seconds diagnostic quiz, and with a few clicks, tell them about your skin and goals, and their team of dermatologists will design a regimen just for you that is shipped direct to your door. Head to geology.com and take their free skincare quiz to save up to 50% off your 30 days trial, or just click the link below. That's geologie.com, or click the link below to save 50% off your 30-day trial. We also want to thank Manscaped for sponsoring this episode. There's a certain confidence that comes with being properly groomed. There's an aura, a vibe. You can just tell by the way they carry themselves. We call this BGE. Big groomed energy. And there's just only one way to get that BGE, and it's Manscaped. They just rolled out their best hygiene bundle yet. It's called the Platinum Package 4.0. Manscaped is a leader in below-the-waist grooming. Now, trust them with the rest. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code MARVEL. Manscaped's brand new Platinum Package 4.0 is the biggest bundle they've ever offered, giving you a bulk discount on Manscaped's top products. Inside this Platinum Package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, ear, nose, and hair trimmer, Ultra Premium Body Wash, Ultra Premium 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner, Ultra Premium deodorant, Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant, Crop Reviver ball spray toner, anti-chafing boxers, the Shed travel bag to hold your goods while traveling, And you can now completely upgrade your shower routine with the Ultra Premium Body Wash and Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo plus Conditioner. You'll have your skin and hair feeling hydrated and smelling fresh. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code MARVEL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code MARVEL. Unlock your big groomed energy with Manscaped. And remember, when you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller. MT, back to this episode of Inside Marvel. I want to ask about the DODC. I speculated that they're going to be the ultimate villain of this series and that Agent Cleary will have a come to Jesus moment. He might reveal himself as a Skrull and say, you know what, I was using this as a cover, but these guys are effed up. I want to ask, it seems like they might return in She-Hulk and Secret Invasion. What do you think?
I definitely feel like the DODC is like the new like secret sketchy organization of the MCU. So yeah, I definitely feel like they're going to appear in She-Hulk for sure, because we know that She-Hulk is going to deal with this prison that deals with these super powered villains that they keep locked up tight. So Damage Control definitely has to have some type of relationship with them, in my opinion. So like we'll see them there, I feel. And also Secret Invasion deals with alien threats, and that's what the Damage Control sort of deals with, like the aftermath of the Chitauri invasion, all of that. So like that's definitely in Damage Control's purview. But I also feel like we're going to see them in Armor Wars for sure, in my opinion, because like they have that whole vault. I can't stop thinking about the vault, especially after this episode where we see them using Mysterio's drones after they confiscated the glasses in No Way Home. So like they're definitely using all this technology that they're taking to their own advantage. And I'm wondering if they're using that Ultron tech, because we saw Ultron head in Homecoming. I wonder if Ultron is being utilized by the DODC as well, which would be a bad idea. Don't do that, because woof.
Yeah, I think the DODC is the one running that prison facility with Abomination in it. I think they're just going to be like considered the Earthbound government agency that's in charge of all this stuff. And then SWORD will be the atmospheric / cosmic / spacebound version of it. But like, I mean, my theory is that the DODC is like a front organization for all the Skrulls on Earth. Like their job is to do witness protection for all the Skrulls.
There's got to be some Skrulls in the DODC for sure.
Yeah. In fact, maybe all of them are Skrulls. Maybe all of them are.
Yes.
Maybe that woman from Judging Amy who was in Homecoming, she might be a Skrull. That guy, they brought back the actor in Homecoming, got punched in the face. He was standing right behind Cleary in No Way Home. That guy's Skrull. They're all Skrulls.
Yes.
All the DODC. They're
exactly.
all Skrulls.
They're all Skrulls.
Damage Control. Damage Skrull. Really.
Damage Control.
Yes. Damage Control. Department of Damage Control. If you just look real closely at it and stand at the side, that control is actually TROL. No, that's SKRULLO. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's confirmed. It is confirmed. We're going to defy Encanto right now and talk about Bruno. No. What is Bruno's future? Is he going to Caltech, or will he want to stay closer to home and go to MIT, where he could meet Ironheart, and he could meet Ned and MJ, and he could meet everybody? He could be part of the MCU in future, because this guy is brilliant. He's a great engineer. Is he going to be working for Stark Industries? He's going to meet Amadeus Cho. What's going to happen to Bruno?
Like, I would love to see him go to MIT and like meet up with MJ and Ned, because that'd be really fun to see like the crossing overs. But I think that Bruno, he just likes Kamala too much, and so he'll probably end up going to wherever Kamala ends up going, which is kind of, I know it's kind of whack, because like he's a super smart dude and he should definitely go to Caltech, because like why not? Like that's a good for your future. But like, you know, we know that Bruno is like a mainstay in the Ms Marvel comics. So like wherever Ms Marvel ends up going, he's probably going to go as well. But I feel like MIT would be so great. I would love to see Ms Marvel and him in Boston. They tease Boston in No Way Home. Come on over to Boston. We have so much crime going on unanswered. Please come.
No sleep till Boston. I think
exactly.
I think he's going to end up working for SWORD. I think he's going to be like the chief head of technology or head of the science division of SWORD. I think that's the best place for him, working right underneath Abigail Brand. You know, that's where he belongs. Or maybe Bruno's a Skrull too. We don't know.
Well, we see them. He has this tech that can analyze the energies within Kamala. It'd be really cool if like he sort of picked up Marvel's work, sort of at Shield or wherever picks up Marvel's work. Maybe, and at SWORD, I think that the SWORD is perfect, because like they have Goose and like all of that. So like, yeah, I feel like SWORD is such a good idea. I didn't even consider that.
MT, I have to ask you, why does Bruno have that app on his tablet? Like, Did he whip that up in the past 24 hours? I don't think so. I think he had it. Like, if Kamala got to look at that tablet, she's like, why is there a column for when my menstrual cycle is? And Bruno's just like, for science. For science.
My God, yeah, Bruno.
Why does he have
Bruno's
that?
kind of a creep. Bruno has, I feel like Bruno's has access to the dark web or something. I guess he's doing some sketchy shit.
Bruno, this has like all of my locations for the past 2 weeks. It knows when I woke up. Why is there a camera feed in my bathroom, Bruno? Bruno.
Why does this floppy disk say Project Insight, Bruno?
Bruno, why does this have a list out of every outfit I've worn for the past month, Bruno? Bruno.
Why are you keeping a log of all of my smells, Bruno? Every time you smell me, it's like, she wore lilac perfume today. Bruno's a stalker, which is why Kamala wants nothing to do with him. I understand, Kamala. It's all good.
Everyone, we need to keep an eye on Bruno. I'm just saying.
Yes.
We need to talk about
list.
Bruno. No. Just keep an eye on that one. Maybe getting over to the West Coast is the best thing for Bruno. Get him far away.
Yes. Like, if anyone is going to revive Ultron, it's going to be Bruno. I'm telling you.
We're just kidding around, Bruno. We love you,
Yes.
Bruno. We would never.
It's okay, Bruno. We love you. It's going to be fine.
It's
You're going to get
no,
Kamala in the end, I hope. Get that smooch.
It's just we need to make sure that the projects he's working on are just some wholesome, nice society contributing technology. Because, with the wrong motivation.
I want Bruno to make Big Wheel, though. The Spider-Man villain, Big Wheel. I want him to design the Big Wheel. I want him to be Big Wheel. I don't know
my
what
God.
I'm saying. Anyway.
We got to get out of here, MT. We're being too hard on this character. But that's it for this episode of Inside Marvel. Again, the breakdown's coming out later today. And stay tuned. We get some fun Easter eggs.
Stay tuned.
Little sneaky eggs. Little sneaky, stinky eggs hiding everywhere. This is from last Easter. Why does it smell so bad in the bathroom? It's an egg that we forgot to get. It's there. I found
Kamala left it in the bathroom last year.
That's right. And Bruno knew all about it. Bruno didn't say anything. That was on his tablet. He didn't say shit. Don't forget to check out our great merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me at EA Voss. Follow MT at MasterTainment. Subscribe to Inside Marvel wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you. Bye.